This is Uncle T Boxing, and I'm here with the head of boxing for Sky, Adam Smith. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, very excited about this one.
Busy times for you.
It
and,
is busy. Usyk Bellew next week, and we'll be in Manchester, and that's a fantastic one for all the unified cruiserweight titles. And then, such a busy few weeks, and culminating just before Christmas in Dillian and Derek going at it again with David in the 3Ds, with David involved too. It's you can't write this stuff in boxing, but it was a great fight first time round, and I think the second one will start off where it left off.
So can you honestly tell me how you felt the first time the news broke out with Derek signing up with David Haye?
You're the second person to ask me that. Actually, David came to see us at Sky, and it was on on something else. We were talking about using him in commentary. He's coming out to work with us for the Bellew Usyk fight, and he said, "Listen, just forget that for a moment. I've got something that's really gonna shake you." And listen, you always know that this is the most unpredictable of sporting worlds, so nothing should shock you. But yeah, it was when he told us it was just one of those moments. It's like, you are not serious, and it's fantastic. I think. But looking back to it, they had all the rivalry, and so did Dillian and Derek with the table throwing and all that. But once you share a ring with each other, there is a respect that fighters have for each other. They never lose, and and Derek took his lumps against David on that wet Upton Park night, and and it was all good at the end, and I wouldn't say they became mates, but because then there was the Joe Joyce situation, but there was that respect, and I think that what Whyte and Chisora have had as well is the respect from going 12 rounds with each other. That's why this was a little bit calmer than last time. And I think the build-up will be slightly more tepid, undertones still, but a little bit more tepid, because they have got huge respect for each other, and you can see that with the handshake with the two of them today. So it doesn't mean the fight won't be any bit, it won't be even. I think it'll be better than the first one, because I think Derek's got nothing to lose. I think he'll be in better shape. I think he'll be coming to win beyond anything, because this is the golden ticket he's got after the Takam win. And Dillian needs to cement a victory so he can hopefully go into an Anthony Joshua fight. So it's a huge business fight for both of them, but I think it will be a thriller because of their styles. But yes, I think there is more respect. So yeah, it was a surprise when David told me, but it's a good surprise, It's great to have David up there, actually not promoting himself as a pay-per-view fighter for once. And David and I go back to when he was a teenager, so I'm very fond of him, but he's always been tricky in business, but he's a good guy.
Yeah. In terms of reliability, Dillian Whyte seems to be improving each fight he gets.
Yeah.
And with Derek, do you feel with David he's going to improve in terms of his condition?
Definitely. I think I thought that Takam would have too much for Derek at that stage. He showed me a lot that night, and he came out with a win. And he sat on the ring apron afterwards, and I think it just dawned on him what he'd done. I think that a lot of people have written him off, and I think what David will do is he'll bring, with Don Charles's experience, just an added dimension to the camp, which maybe David's body couldn't deal with. I think too much had happened to David. There was too much history on the body, so to speak, and I think that Ruben Tabarez coming back was a fantastic move before the Bellew second fight. But he couldn't do anything with Haye's reflexes and speed on the night. He can with Derek, I think, and I think adding Ruben and the team together is brilliant. I could just see out the corner of my eye, Derek is eating a packaged meal. They've obviously got him on an absolute nutrition is going to be fantastic. He's going to be training under lock and key. You're going to get the best possible Derek Chisora on December 22nd, which makes him a very, very dangerous fighter. Is he good enough to overcome and improving Dillian Whyte, as you mentioned? We wait and see. Dillian will start a favourite, but don't write Derek off in this one.
Okay. Talking about looking in good shape, David Haye looks in good shape as well. I mean, he looks like a cruiserweight now. I just compare the size of him next to Richard Riaco, who's fighting next week, and he even looks smaller than him.
David's playing a lot of tennis,
okay.
So his son Cassius is a good tennis player, and David is taken to the tennis court. I think tennis and boxing are quite there's a lot of parallels in there. Andy Murray's a massive boxing fan, and I know a lot of tennis players who like boxing, and a lot of fighters who like tennis. And I think it's that one-on-one. Yes, you're not getting punched in the face, but you are getting through a mental and physical battle in there. There's you're on your own on court, you're on your own in a ring, and I think there's a lot of fighters like the idea of tennis. I know Anthony Joshua's taken tennis lessons. Carl Froch plays tennis. David does. So I think there's some battles to be had on the tennis court as well. So maybe that's why David's looking svelte.
Okay. Let me just get down to a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind. I started boxing around just after the Olympics 2012. That's when my interest in boxing came. I participated in it. But I just would like to know about you, your interest for boxing, when did it start?
When I was a kid, I
Okay.
was fascinated with Tommy Hearns. He was my hero.
Yeah.
I snuck into Loftus Road to watch Baron McGuigan fight Eusebio Pedrosa when I was 13. That sort of time, I cried my eyes out when Hearns lost to Marvin Hagler in that epic 3 rounds. Barry was a real hero of mine. I loved Eubank, the Eubank Ben, whole sort of dynamics there, and I liked all sports, but boxing was something that fascinated me. I ended up working with Evander Holyfield in a training camp down in Atlanta when I was working at CNN out in Washington, and then I got to the Bo Holyfield second fight in Vegas when the Fan Man came in. And he crashed into ringside, and I thought, this is ridiculous. And the whole fight was called up. There was a 25-minute wait. And then Bo got tired, and Holyfield came on down the stretch, and the whole heavyweight, landscape changed. And I thought, this is crazy. And it sort of got my love of sport and my love of theatre together and entwined. And then when I joined Sky, I told Vic Wakelin, the head of Sky Sports at the time, that story, and he said, go and join the boxing team. So for me, it was either football or cricket or tennis or whatever. But I joined the boxing team in '94, and I just got absolutely fascinated with it and hooked in. And from next summer it'll be 25 years at Sky. So I've loved it, and I've grown up with boxing. I've known Joe Calzaghe for a long time through family connections in Newbridge, so I've known him since he was a kid. As I said, I've known David since he was like 16, 17. I followed Ricky Hatton all the way through from start to finish. Carl Froch was just an amateur when I first got to know him. Now I'm working with him. So I've seen these guys' lives, their careers just sort of unfold throughout. I was quite late to the party with Lennox and with Eubank Senior, but I got the tail end of their careers, and Mike Tyson and all of that sort of era. But now it's obviously the AJ era and Wilder, and the heavyweights are back, and it's really exciting again, because fans are coming out, big stadium shows. In many ways it's never been as good. So it's fantastic that boxing's hot, and we've got a tight-knit team at Sky, and we love it.
Yeah. After the 2012 Olympics, so that's when I started following boxing. So I watched the likes of Anthony Joshua, Errol Spence Jr., Usyk, and Lomachenko, or the class of 2012.
Great fighters.
See what they've done so far in boxing. Out of your experience, I've got to ask you this question. Who do you think will be the next Usyk Loma out of the Rio 2016?
Wow, that's an interesting question. So who's going to come through? You look at the likes of, Yelusinov and great amateurs, and, are they going to be as good professionals? Fantastic Team GB results in Rio, and again, another lot, the likes of Fraser Clark and Sandy Ryan and all these fighters who are going to go again next time. And I think the one for me that stands out is Joshua Buatsi. I think he's a really cool guy, both in and out of the ring. I think he's very intelligent. I think it's great that he finished his degree, but I like him in a ring. A lot of people have compared him to a young Evander Holyfield, and I think he's dealing with the preliminary opposition in a way that makes me think he can go a long way in this sport. Obviously things can happen. You need a lot of luck. I think in boxing you need talent, you need immense dedication, and you need luck. You look at someone like Floyd Mayweather, who I believe is the greatest to lace him up since Sugar Ray Leonard. And I've watched him up close in training. I've watched him obviously a number of times up close at ringside in the real fights. Someone like him, immense talent, enormous dedication, and obviously a little bit of luck along the way as well, and I think you need that. But I think if you look at all the fighters, I like Josh Kelly a lot, I like Joe Cordina, I like, on BT, I like Anthony Yard. There's a lot of fighters that are good out there, but Buatsi seems to me to have the mixture of a good head on his shoulders, a good calm attitude, and a menace in the ring as well. that I like. So yeah, Boatsi for me maybe.
Okay. You talked about education. He did his education. What about you? What did you study in before you?
I studied theatre. I studied theatre and television at Warwick University. Before that, I was at Davidson College in America. I went to a school in London where it was a very academic school called St Paul's. I was actually in the same year as George Osborne, the former Chancellor. So a lot of sort of my contemporaries went into the city here in Canary Wharf, and they work in banking or in law or in those sort of areas. So I wanted to go a different route. It was either theatre or TV for me. I've got family collections in the theatre world, so I never thought I was a good enough actor. I thought, you know what, why not go into sports TV? I used to commentate when I was a kid. I used to, have a dictaphone and turn the TV down, and my voice hadn't broken, so I've always wanted to do something like this. But yeah, once I was into the boxing world, that sort of drew me in further. But yeah, Sky for me is a great place to work. It's a wonderful company that's sort of blossomed over the years, and Sky Sports is a fantastic outfit. And yeah, so I had a sort of different education, I guess, to most maybe that would end up in either the boxing or the TV world. But yeah, it was theatre and TV for me at university, and I graduated from Warwick and then went into CNN and then ITN and then Sky.
Yeah. Seems I'm still feeling the passion you have for boxing, and from a boxing fan, I would like to thank you for bringing up the other people around Sky, like to Johnny Nelson's, and I interviewed Dave Calder yesterday.
Great guy.
And yeah, he said
Both
you're
of
the
them.
one you called him up to work as a punditry when he never thought he was ever good enough. So the confidence you brought into these people, and we appreciate what you've done for boxing and for Sky. Thank you, sir, for spending a bit of time with me.
No problem at all.
All the best, and look forward to seeing what Sky. Well, do you guys Matchroom doing about over 50 shows next year?
We're doing a lot. So there's 16 from the US with DAZN, and then there's 16 over here, and then there's the box office fight. So yeah, we're probably going to hit 40 or something. So there's a lot of shows. There's also the JD Ringsides as well, and there's lots of stuff on Sky Sports News and SkySports.com, and we shouldn't forget everything that's happening out there on Channel 5, on ITV, on BT. There's some great fights on BT. The Golovkin-Canelo fight, Warrington against Frampton, unfortunately the same night as this, which is a shame. But there's so much happening in boxing that you almost need two sets of eyes to watch it all. It's fantastic. The sport is, as I said, it's probably at its hottest it's been in many, many years, and long may it continue.
You said over 40 shows. Can you tell me a little bit more about apparently the shows in Italy and Germany as well?
Well, I'm hearing that as well, like you are. I hope there's going to be more shows in Italy and Germany, so we'll have to see. I think that there might be the first one sort of coming up in the next few weeks in Italy. But yeah, there could be another 10, 15, 20, News comes to us like it comes to you. When Eddie decides to tell somebody something, he normally goes to a camera. But listen, there's big deals ahead, and there's lots more content that's going to come your way.
And that will be all through Sky, would it?
One hopes so, because he's our partner. So there's going to be a lot of fights that are going to come out of Europe as well.
Adam Smith, thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure.
No problem.